Hello my beautiful collective, and welcome to this video. Guys, I do hope you guys can appreciate these types of videos. They are again in my non-tarot playlist. These are interesting topics ranging from anywhere from spiritual awakening to the types of connections you could have, to trauma bonds. And what I'm noticing is as I'm doing these videos are that these topics could be helpful to you. It could be having to do with situations connected to your relationships, your family situations, or even just your self-development, your spiritual growth. Okay, guys? The topic in these videos are going to be, they vary. Okay? Visit the playlist, check out the videos. They could help you. And just know that the research I've done for these topics were very extensive. I do hope you guys can appreciate the hard work that was put into these videos, and I will be crediting the articles and the people who wrote these articles and the website in the description box below if you guys want a more concise longer version of what I kind of compacted into a video. You know, I only took from the important points I felt would be useful to you guys. But you guys could always refer back to the article, the website. I have listed that information in the description box below. Okay, guys? So I do hope you enjoy these videos, and let me know in the comments what you think. Hello my beautiful collective, it is I, Rosa, Lady Capricorn Tarot, and in this video we're going to talk about after-death communication, okay guys, also known as ADC, okay guys. In this video we're going to be talking about what are after-death communications and what you need to know about it. We're going to talk about the types of after-death communications, okay guys, and we're also going to talk about who can experience after-death communications, as well as you know, are after-death communications common, and a few examples of those, and much more, guys. I'm also going to insert what I feel is proof of after-death communication contact. I'm going to insert a picture of this was years ago. I had just gotten divorced from my ex-husband, and you know, I had the visitations. We both had visitations with well, he had visitations with my son. I have custody of my son, but he had visitations. So I always felt a presence at his you know, my ex-mother and father-in-law's house, his parents' house. I always felt the feeling of being watched. I always felt uncomfortable there, right, guys? And so when I got divorced, I stopped going over there, of course. But my son kept going over there for visits, right, with his grandparents. And so my ex-husband has taken a picture of my son in the living room, and he did not notice this in the picture, but there was actually a tall black figure, what looks like a tall shadow of a man standing off in the corner. Now my son was young at the time, and I've covered his face because I don't want to dox my son. This was when he was much younger. He's sitting in the living room, and my ex-husband took a picture of him, like kind of watching TV or playing video games, whatever it was, and you could clearly see this dark tall shadow standing off to the corner. And my understanding of this shadow is that when I confronted my ex-husband about it, I said, you didn't notice in this picture there's like a tall shadow of a man in the corner? He did not notice even after taking the picture. But of course, being that I am, you know, highly sensitive and spiritual, and you know, I can communicate, you know, with the, you know, the spirit world, I picked up on it and I saw it like right away. And that was what I was feeling. Now typically when there's shadows that are that dark, they're not good people. It's like, and I always felt like I was being watched, guys. I always felt uncomfortable there. And that was around the time when I was spiritually awakening. So I really, like, I know I felt it, I sensed it, but at the time I would dismiss it. You know, that was right when I started spiritually awakening. So I wasn't then as sensitive as I am now, and as open to the afterlife and spirit. So but I always did feel uncomfortable there. And come to find out, my ex-husband told me when I made him aware of the shadow in the corner, he said, somebody had died in my parents' apartment years before they got the apartment. So there you go, guys. And I'm going to show you proof of that, in a little while. We're going to get into this video. Now, this video might be a little long, but this is a topic that I feel hits very close to home with me, okay? Because I believe that there is life after death, okay? The soul leaves the body, which of course is this, the shell, right, in which we live in, but the soul is forever, which is also connected to reincarnation, and why, the soul reincarnates into like other bodies. And this is why there's, what do you call it? There's people, as I covered in one of my past videos, I believe it was a reincarnation video. Yes, guys, go back to my playlist and access that video, because I'm touching on that with this video. That's the source of reincarnation, guys. When the physical body dies, the soul is forever. The soul then leaves the old body and is reincarnated into either an animal, it could be an insect, it could be a human being. And so to me, life is forever, okay? The only thing that dies is the shell that we live in, but the soul is forever. So for me, after death communication is very real, because to me, the spirit world does exist. I am currently having a lot of experiences with after death communications connected to my mother. Now, my mother's last wish was to be cremated, and she wanted us to each have some of her ashes, in a pendant, which we all do have it. We also have her remains, her cremains, right, in the apartment. And so, although I do feel like my mom, has crossed over, because I crossed my mother over in a dream. Very soon after she passed away, she came to me in a dream, and that's how she continues to communicate with me. But now I'm experiencing more of her communication with me in the form of always at 3 a.m. in the morning. I'll either feel like I'm being watched, and I'm not freaked out, guys, because I'm able to tell my mother's energy from like other energies. I'll hear her talking to me mentally. She comes to me in my dream state. I've even seen my mother's bedroom is now my son's bedroom, because that was one of her last wishes, was she passes away that my son would get that room. So he has the room. And so I've seen what looks like a partial manifestation of a spirit. And I know it's my mom, because, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute, I saw a very sheer, flowing, long skirt. It looked like it was gliding from my mother's room into the bathroom, which is right across my mother's room, and I saw that twice. I was talking to my son 2 weeks ago, and I'm standing at the entrance of the door of what used to be her room, and I felt like I was touched on my waist, and I kind of look over, there's nobody in the hallway. So I know that my mom is always not just communicating with me, but also my brothers and sisters. My younger brother said that same skirt that I saw physically, right, go from her bedroom into the bathroom twice, when she came to my brother in a dream state, he said that she was dressed in a very beautiful, flowing, long skirt, almost sheer see-through, and she was all dressed in white, and so like my mom communicates with us. So I say all that to say, guys, this video might be long, because this is a topic that's really very close to my heart, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and get into this, but I just wanted to give you my experiences, and I'm also going to show you, okay, so stick around, I'm going to show you proof that not just the spirits exist, but contact and communications from them is very real. Now, in the picture I was referring to in the beginning of this video, which I'm going to show you in a little bit, you see the man just standing there. It's a tall, dark, black shadow. Okay, guys? Now, because I felt the presence, and I felt like, I just felt an energy of like that. I didn't see the shadow. Remember, guys, I felt it at the time. And I felt like I was being watched. I just felt very uncomfortable going there. I feel like whoever passed in that apartment either was a bad person or did bad things, or the person maybe was like full of a lot of hate, a lot of, just not a good person, because when shadows come through and they're that dark, it's never a good thing. Okay, I just want to put that out there. And so let's get into this video, guys. It's already been long enough. I'm sorry I started going off. I'm telling you, this shows that this is like a topic that's very dear to me. Okay, so let's get into it, guys. Okay, and if you like what I'm doing here, you already know what to do. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Also hit that notification bell so you guys will be alerted when my next video posts, when I premiere a video, or when I go live. Okay, guys, let's get right into this. Okay, now, and a quick let me just put a quick disclaimer out there. Okay, guys, if you don't believe in the afterlife, if you don't believe in spirits, okay, that is your choice, that is your beliefs. But I've always tend to believe that if occurrences happen that you cannot explain, okay, it could only be, okay, something that is not, that it's unexplainable. It could only be something that you have to believe in, because how else would you get through life experiencing these things? You would think you're going crazy. Okay, I believe in everything. I believe in extraterrestrials. I believe in everything, guys, because there's just things out there that you cannot explain, but they exist. Okay, and sometimes you don't need an explanation. Okay, anyway, let's get into this. So let's talk about what are after death communications and what you need to know. Okay, and guys, the full article is in the description box below. You already know. Okay, very interesting article. If this video is too short and you want more details, go right to the article. Okay, guys, so let's talk about what are after death communications and what you need to know. The article states, after death communications is a broad term that covers a variety of different encounters that someone can experience with a past loved one. Okay, it is decided by the deceased person when, where, and how they will connect with us. And that's absolutely true. It's not up to us, it's up to them. It is often defined as a direct and spontaneous event, which is absolutely true. That the encounters I've had with my mom, they're very spontaneous. Literally, and the latest experience I've had is I was talking to my older sister about getting a plant, right? And it just came to me, which I feel is like my mom. My mom was a huge plant lover, okay? She always had plants in the house. That was her thing. And it just came to me that I needed to get a plant and, just have it near my mom's ashes. And I was talking about that with my older sister. And since I've mentioned that, okay, there was this painting. And the painting fell off the wall. Oddly enough, it's the picture of a plant, okay, guys? And the entire because she painted this when she was in the day center. My mom was elderly, so she would go to day center and they would do arts and crafts there. She painted this really pretty picture of a plant and she hung it up in her room. So we've kept all of her art and everything still in her room, still in the living room. And so my son came out of the room and he was like, "Mom, did you hear that? I heard a crash." Now, he didn't know that the picture that she painted that was on the wall in her bedroom, which is now his bedroom, had fallen behind his bed. He didn't see it. And so, like, when my younger brother went back there to see what happened, it was my mother's picture that she painted. And oddly enough, here was a plant, okay? So my mom is communicating to me that I said I was going to get her this plant, and where's my plant, okay? And that's what I picked up intuitively from this happening. And even my younger brother touched on it. He said of all the pictures that she had, that she painted, the plant fell. And not just that the portrait, the painting fall. The only thing that broke was the frame, okay? The glass, okay, that it was in, didn't shatter, didn't break. So just the frame fell. So I felt like my mom, was trying to give me a message that, where's my plant? And I'm working on it, guys. I am working on it, because when you make a promise to a loved one, a spirit, somebody that passed, it doesn't matter if it's a family member, whatever, you got to kind of follow through with it, okay? And so we took the picture and we put it on the kitchen table. Now, we had it on top of this, it was like a vase, right? Like, we had it laying across that. And so, again, the other day, my brother was in the kitchen, and he said the portrait Okay, now it's just the glass and the picture underneath the glass, tilted over, and it slid right onto the table. And my younger brother was like, she really wants her plant. So guys, I'm working on that, okay? But I'm just saying this to say that communication with, you know, afterlife communication is very real. So I can attest to that 110%. And guys, if you're looking at this video and you have had afterlife communication with a loved one, a friend, whoever, let me know in the comments. I'm really interested to hear your stories on this, okay, guys? So, getting back to the article. So it says, these experiences are extremely personal and they also vary in degrees. Some may come across as quite subtle while others appear obvious. In all intensities and forms, after-death communication is someone contacting you from the afterlife, okay? Most of these incidents occur within a year of death. However, there's no time limit when a loved one may connect with you. And this is absolutely true because my mother passed away this past August, okay, 2022. And it hasn't even been a year yet, okay? And we're getting all of this contact from my mom, okay? So again, to the point of the article, there's no time limit when a loved one can reconnect with you, okay? And again, they said in the beginning, it's whenever they feel like coming through, okay, guys? So I'm going to go over the types of after-death communication, okay, guys? And for me, a lot of these hit home, okay? A lot of these are actually, let me see. Yeah, I've experienced all of them, okay? I'm looking at all of them. I've experienced all of them, okay? Every single one of these I've experienced so far. So I'm going to run them down, okay? So here are the types of after-death communications, okay? So article states, there are known to be many different ways that a loved one can provide contact after death, and they pertain to any of our senses. There are ways for us to experience that connection with our loved one, and often they stimulate a sense that there is life beyond death, okay? And I believe that there is, okay? And nobody can take that away from me because I have had experiences, whether it's now with my mother or just spirits that have contacted me at the shelter where I used to work at, where there were a lot of people died. Like that shelter had a lot of layers of death, and I just had to leave that job because it was just too much. I was like a conduit. Like I would walk into that building and I'm hearing my name being called. I'm feeling all kinds of different emotions depending what floor I was on, and it was just too much for me. I had to leave. So let's go through this, okay? It says, it is important to understand that if you experience something that does not fall under one of these categories, it doesn't mean that it was not a loved one trying to reach you. So guys, basically, if none of these resonate with you as far as after-death communication from a loved one, what the article is saying is that it doesn't mean that they're not trying to connect with you, okay guys? So if these types of after-death communications that I run through, okay, none of it resonates with you, but you're still getting some kind of contact, again, the article is stating it doesn't mean that your loved one is not contacting you. It just means it's not in any of these ways, okay guys? Article states, since these types of spiritual incidents are so personal and significant, the way your loved one seeks your attention could be different, okay guys? So here's number one, sensing a presence. This is me all day, every day, even if it's not my mother. It depends where I'm at. If there's a presence there, I'm going to feel it. So the article states, often when a loved one passes away, we get this intuitive feeling that they are still there. Sometimes, though, this sensation is so strong that it truly does feel as if a person were standing or sitting next to us. And I can attest to this because when my mother's in my presence, I feel a cold draft on whatever side, she may be standing on. I also feel her presence heavy, okay? I've also heard her voice. Like I'm going to run through all of these, but I'm telling you, I've had every single kind of contact, okay? So, article also states, people dismiss this feeling because of the absence of any physical evidence, which is true. A lot of people are so trained that everything has to be materialized. Everything has to be in your presence. It has to be, if you can't see it, then it's not there. Okay, and that's where people are wrong. Okay, you have to be open to a lot of things, especially this type of contact. Okay, people dismiss this feeling because of the absence of any physical evidence, such as a visual or auditory cue, as their imagination or mind. So, in other words, so people, because you're not seeing it manifest or you don't see it physically in front of you, okay, people think it's their imagination, right? Their or mind playing tricks on them, especially if this occurs relatively soon after death, okay? That being said, sensing the presence of a deceased loved one is so strongly, is so strong, is just as valid as an experience as if you saw or heard them. Okay, so feeling them, okay, could be so strong that it's like it's just like if they were there, but you're just not seeing them. Okay, guys. Number two, hearing their voice, and I just mentioned this. Okay, guys, this happens to me too. Not just with my mom, but like I said, in the past, when there's a spirit trying to connect to me for whatever reason, something that they want me to help them with, I hear them. Okay. So number two, hearing their voice. These auditory ADCs, okay, guys, I'm gonna give you the after death communication. I'm gonna just refer to as ADC, okay, guys. So these auditory ADCs can be either external or internal. This means that some people hear their loved one's voice out loud as if they were speaking, and some receive voice messages in their minds. And I have received both. Like, I've literally heard my mom outside, like, you know, I've heard the voice externally, but I also communicate and have heard and have received messages from my mother internally, okay, as well as other spirits, again, that are trying to connect with me. Let's see, it says these internal connections are more common. In all these cases, the communication is usually no longer than a simple sentence. Okay, guys? So you're not going to get a full-blown conversation, okay? But most you'll get is a sentence. Sometimes it'll be in the form of, like, just them calling your name, you acknowledging that you hear them. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. So it's not ever going to be a whole communication, is what they're saying. Like a whole conversation. Number three, the feeling of being touched. And guys, I already told you this has happened to me here when I was talking to my son. I was standing at the threshold of her bedroom, old bedroom, which is now my son's bedroom, and I felt like I was poked on the side of my waist, and there was nobody there. So it says, number three, feeling of being touched. When it comes to our loved ones, we can often distinguish them apart from others, whether by sound of footsteps up the stairs or the way they jiggle their keys before coming through the door. This is also sometimes the case with physical touch. You know the way that special person feels when they touch or hug you. One sign of after-death communication is feeling like you have been touched by your lost loved one. It could be a hug, a kiss, a pat on the back, or any other physical sensation. They serve as little reminders that your person is still with you. Okay, guys? Number four, smelling their fragrance. Again, this has happened to me. Similar to how we individualize the sounds a person makes or how their touch feels, we also associate certain aromas with them. Scent is the most memory-provoking of the senses. Smelling a fragrance that was very closely connected to your loved one, such as perfume or cologne, a certain type of flowers, cigars, a specific meal that's cooked, or detergent they always use, can be a sign of a loved one communicating after death. And guys, every now and again, I'll smell my mother's perfume in the hallway of the apartment. Okay, I'm able to smell her, and I'm not the only one. My brother and sister that's happened to them as well. Number five, physical phenomena. And guys, this is the one that I'm telling you. This is when you'll see either partial. Okay, you'll see the spirit partially, or it'll manifest solidly, like you'll see it like a person. Let's get into it. Number five, physical phenomena. This type of ADC comes in many forms, often this form of connection comes through electronic. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the one with electronics. Okay, the electronics being um, affected. Okay, but the one where that I just explained, where you'll see partial, whatever, that's coming up. Okay, physical phenomena. This type of ADC comes in many forms. Often this form of connection comes through electronic devices like lights flickering, stereos turning on and off, or television activating. Other times, things around the house move or fall unexplainably, or appliances get turned on. My experience with this was, as I mentioned to you guys, the picture that she painted of a plant falling off the wall, and then again, once we moved it over into the kitchen because we're trying to get a frame for it, we placed it on top of what was like a vase, and it was laying flat on top of that, and then it kind of like it looked like somebody had tilted it over and knocked it over on the table. Okay, so she wants her plant. And so this is my experience with physical phenomenon. Okay, and then it says another common sign, okay, people receive is through a message on the phone, both in dreams and in real life. So that's number 5, physical phenomenon. Number 6, symbols. Okay, article states we all have certain things that we hold dear to us because they remind us of our past loved ones. Okay, an animal or a flower, a certain song or a poem, rainbows, something they collected like coins or shells. When these symbols come to us, it can be a sign of a deceased one telling us that they are present and watching over us. Okay, symbols are interesting because they signal an exchange in language from one world to the next. It is an intimate, subtle, and beautiful way to signal life beyond death. Okay, guys? Now, number 7, here's where I'm talking about. Okay, this is seeing your loved one. Okay? So, article states this sign varies in degrees, as the visual experience can either be partial or full. And I told you guys about my partial experience. The figure that you see could be blurred, unclear, or seem more incomplete, or you could see your loved one in full body form as they were, solid. Okay, and I just explained that to you guys. Okay, sometimes verbal interactions can take place, but not always. When a loved one appears to someone in their true form, people most often report that the person looks happy and at peace. Okay, guys? And when I saw my mom, like the day after she passed, and she came to me in a dream, she was very happy. And I crossed her over in the dream. In the dream, I was in some kind of like school that I used to go to when I was a little girl, and I remember going up the steps to get to class, and all of a sudden my mother pops out of nowhere, and I'm like, Mom, what are you doing here? And she said, she kept smiling and she very happy. She came to me in the best form of herself, which was how she was like, a few years ago before she became very ill. And so she grabbed my hand, and we just kept going up like stairs, and just going up and up and up stairs. Like these stairs were never ending. But as we kept going up the stairs, the environment was changing. So as we got up higher, it kind of turned into like an abandoned building. And so like when we got to the very top of the steps, I remember I said, Mom, I can't go with you. There was like a huge gap, and you have to jump over into the other side. To me, that was the symbol of crossing over. And she was in front of me, and we were holding hands, and she was kind of like leading me up the stairs. And when we got to the top, I said, Mom, there's no way I can get to the other side. I can't jump over there. And all she said to me was like very happy, smiling and looking at me. She let go of my hand, and she says, it's okay, I'm gonna go over there now. And she jumped from this where I was all the way across to the other side, and that was it. And that was my interpretation that my mother crossed over. Now, to me, of course, the surrounding area wasn't, the gateways to heaven or anything like that, but the interpretation I got from that, she kept telling me it was okay. She looked very happy. When we got to that last step and she crossed over, that was my indication of she's fine. She has finally crossed over. And so, when she came to me in a dream, again, like the article suggests, she was solid, and it felt real, and I could feel her hand. I could feel, it wasn't like, and this is another reason why I know that I connected with her and I crossed her over, is because, and I'm gonna come across it here, okay, in this video, in this article, I'm gonna touch on it, okay. When you remember your dreams vividly, okay, that determines the difference between communication, contact from your loved one that passed versus a regular dream. And I can remember every single time my mom has come to me in the dream, state. I can remember with great detail what we talked about, everything. So this is how I know the difference. It's not a dream. It's her coming to me in a dream. Okay, guys? Let's go to number 8. Sleeping. See, guys? So, number 8. After death communication, signs that occur while sleep are similar to dreams. Here's what I was just talking about, guys, okay? However, they are reported to be more intense and feel more real than a typical dream. In these instances, people can have conversations with their deceased loved ones, which can be either one-sided or two-sided. And I just explained to you my entire experience in my dream state where I crossed my mother over, okay? Unlike when you wake up from a dream and forget it quickly or cannot make sense of what happened, these signs that come while you are sleeping are typically easy to make sense of, since you are more let me do this again. These signs that come while you are sleeping are typically easy to make sense of, since they are more realistic. And guys, I just went through my experience, okay? So that was number 8, the sleep state, okay? So there were 8, okay? Now again, guys, as the article mentioned, if you are not experiencing any ADCs in any of these forms that I mentioned here, the article states that does not mean that you're not receiving them, okay, guys? It just means you're not receiving them in this way. And like I said, I've received them 1 through 8. I've received them, okay? Not just from my mom, but, other people that have passed that, may want to connect to me. I told you guys I'm not a medium. I don't say I'm a medium, but there has been times when, spirits have wanted to communicate with me, especially through tarot readings, okay? Like I said in one of my videos, I did about 5 tarot readings where I was able to connect with past loved ones of the client. And in one of my readings, I even gave great detail as to how the person passed. And she didn't disclose any of that information to me. In fact, she did not know. She followed up with me and told me that, she had communicated with the boyfriend's friends, and they pretty much told her exactly what I described to her. So I say all that to say that after death communication is very real. So let's talk about who can experience after death communication, okay? The article states, in a study of people from all places and ages, people of ages between 8 years old and 92 years old, okay, guys, had stories about this type of communication. From this study, and simply from the wide range of different types of ADCs and how personal of an experience it is, it's evident that anyone can be contacted by a loved one after death. Regardless of what someone's background looks like, financially, socially, educationally, or religiously, they could receive signs from the dead. Okay, guys? Since these experiences and the circumstances are so vast, it is almost impossible to know who will experience contact with the deceased loved ones, okay? Why they will or when. Alright, guys? So let's talk about where are after-death communications common, okay? The article states, due to the individuality of a spiritual experience like an ADC, it is difficult to pinpoint the process where it is likely to happen. Despite of this, there are certain locations that more frequently warrant contact from a deceased loved one. So guys, they have 3 examples of 3 of the most popular locations where you can experience an after-death communication from a loved one, okay? So here are the 3 examples, okay? So the number 1 is in the home you shared, okay? Article states, it may seem obvious, but if you shared a home with this person, it could be likely that they will appear to you somehow in this space. Sharing a space intimately with someone cultivates a strong bond, and this type of connection could stimulate communication from this person. If your loved one had a specific seat at the table or a chair in the living room, any sort of area in your shared home that was, without needing to be named, theirs, right? So if anything that was connected to them, a chair, whatever, that you consider to be their property, right, could be spots that are extra sensitive to signs. And guys, when my ex-father-in-law passed away, my ex-husband, kept the ashes of both my ex-mother and father-in-law, as well as a lot of their furniture. So um, when I went to visit his apartment, his new apartment one day, I was with my son. We went over there to check out his new apartment, and I sat in his father's recliner. The moment I sat in that recliner, I felt an overwhelming feeling of being hugged from behind, and it was so, and loved, and like appreciated, and like I felt the sensation of, it's good to see you. Now I know that my ex-father and mother-in-law, they adored me, okay, and I still kept that connection with them till they both passed away. And so when I sat in his recliner, I just started crying. Okay, I started crying because I felt the love, the energy of being hugged, and I could hear him telling me, it's good to see you. I'm glad that, you came, and like I felt his energy strongly, okay? I felt his energy as it was when he was alive, and I would go visit them. They adored me. We got divorced, but I was still in contact with them. That never changed. They were like my additional parents. And so to this point here, okay, that was his recliner, and it still has his energy, I feel, okay, because I felt his energy strongly, okay. Okay, so another example is in your dreams, okay. As discussed earlier, your loved ones may choose to come to you not when you are awake, but instead when you're sleeping. And I really, really agree with this point here. Okay, it says they may appear to you and speak to you in a dream, which is often vivid. Guys, I am so sorry. I had to pause the video because I don't know if you guys could hear it, but my son is on his video. He's playing online, and he was getting a little too carried away with it, and he was screaming. Mind you, the doors of his bedroom is closed, and he was just going a little too crazy. So I apologize if you heard him in the background screaming. He's okay. He's just playing online with his friends. So I apologize for that. So let's go to the last example given, okay, at a special place. So article states, places carry a great significance for us as humans because we attach memories, emotions, and people to them. This remains the case even when the people we associate with those places are gone. An ADC sign may come back to you while in a specific park that you two like to go to, a hotel you visited often on vacation, or a specific vacation destination, a restaurant you regularly ate at, or a movie theater you attended often. Okay, guys? Wherever the place is that you are reminded of your loved ones or feel closest to them, this could be where they want or find it easiest to reach you. Okay, guys? So, in closing, guys, no one can tell you how to feel about after-death communications, honestly, okay? You're either going to believe in it or you're not. Okay, these experiences are often described as healing, comforting, and consoling regarding immense grief that someone may be feeling. Okay, after-death communication can help you understand that death is not final, which is, I believe, is absolutely true. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, the soul is forever. This is why reincarnation happens. Okay, the body that the soul currently lives in passes away, the shell. The soul leaves the body and is then reincarnated into a new body, whether that be animal, person, even, nature, trees, flowers, insects, all of that stuff, okay? It says, After death communication can help you understand that death is not final and that the connection with your loved one is still possible and after death. Possible after death. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end the video here. I'm pretty sure this video is already gonna be long, but I needed to really get into this topic because it's one that I hold near and dear to my heart, and I wanted to talk about it. Okay, if there's people out there that are maybe, you know, they have a loved one that passed away currently, or just a loved one, you know, that didn't have to pass currently, but you know, you're currently feeling like you feel them strongly around you. You know, this video might be able to shed light on what is going on in your situation. And guys, as promised, I'm gonna go ahead and insert the picture that I was referring to in the beginning of this video. Let me just run it through again. Years ago, when I first got divorced, okay, and my son was younger, he used to have visitation at his grandparents' house. You know, my husband used to take him over there to visit his grandparents, and you know, before I got divorced and I would go there to you know, visit with them as well, I always felt uneasy. I felt uncomfortable, like I was being watched. And I felt this urge to just leave, like I didn't want to be there. And so like afterwards, you know, once I got divorced and I stopped going over there, you know, my ex-husband had taken a picture of my son at that time, you know, to kind of show me like what he was doing, like, you know, the type of pictures that are like current status, like what he was currently doing, which was pretty much he was either watching TV or playing a video game. But what he didn't notice was that the picture he sent me had a very clear presence of a dark, tall man standing in the background. And guys, every time I see that picture, I freak out because I'm like, that is exactly what I was picking up, although I didn't see it. And again, this happened before my spiritual awakening. So at the time, I was, you know, just sensing it and just feeling like I was being watched. But because I'm not as, you know, I'm not as advanced as I am now, I wasn't even spiritually awakened, I kind of dismissed it as it's just, you know, me. You know, but it definitely wasn't. And guys, I'm going to show you that this is proof that, you know, spirits do exist, okay, whether good or bad. And I feel like the person that lived there that passed was probably still in that apartment because they were wanting something. And of course, maybe, you know, I could have helped this spirit, but at the time I wasn't ready for it. So I'm going to show you this picture. Now this picture is, you know, a couple of years old now, but I'm just, you know, I'm going to plug it in here so you guys could see what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to show you the picture first at a distance, and I've covered my son's face. I'm not trying to dox him. And then I'm going to do a close-up for those that don't catch it in like the distance. And tell me what you think, okay, about this picture in the comments below. Okay, here's proof that the spirit world is very, very real, guys. And there you go, guys. Okay, there's the proof of spirits do exist. Okay, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. I feel like this one was bad because of the level of dark that it was, and also because of the uneasiness I felt every time I went there. I felt like I was being pushed out, like I needed to go. Okay, anyway, guys, I'm gonna end it here. If you like what I did here, again, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe to this channel. Also hit that notification bell so you guys will be alerted when I post a video, premiere a video, or go live. And guys, if you have had any experiences in this situation here with after death communication, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Until next time, God bless. Do know that I love and appreciate you all. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.